Hey everyone, Cole here with another 2022 Alliance Way Gear Guide review. Today's subject, we've got the Connelly Steel Lafferty Pro Model. So new for 2022, we got another rendition of Steel Lafferty's Pro Model. It's just a revamped version of last year's model. And let's go over a couple of the new things that they're offering. So this year, we have a ABS sidewall. So now the durability of the board has gone up. Also, they've added in a little bit of flex to this board. So you also have the ability to go on the cable. Even though you don't have a grind base, I wouldn't suggest that. But now you have a little bit of flex and you've got these ABS sidewalls. So, you know, if you're looking for a board to occasionally hit the cable, you could get that done. But this board is mainly designed to be ridden behind the boat and get you big time pop. We've got some channels on the bottom here that help the flow of the water. So typically with a 3-stage board, it's a little bit slower, but you get that really abrupt pop. But the channels on the bottom help that water flow out and keep the speed going through the board. We also have a spine running down the middle, which you do feel under your feet. When you go edge to edge, it wants to pick a side typically. But the big plus here is when you have a 3-stage rocker and you're going big, you want to have soft landings, and that's what a spine does for you. It displaces that water and makes those landings really soft for you. All in all, this board is just a bit of an upgrade from last year. We've got more durability, a touch of flex, you know, some nice features that definitely make this board stand out from last year's. Starting things off here, we're going with tracking, and with tracking you go 1 through 10 like we do with all categories, and 1 is super duper loose and 10 is locked in. Typically with these boat boards, we're more on the higher side of the scale because we have fins. So this does come with removable fins. We've also got some really small molded in fins. If you don't like to be really locked in, you can pop those off and still have traction with the channels and the small molded fins. The way I rode it with the fins, and that's the way I liked it. It definitely was locked in and it tracked really well. Putting a number on the scale, we're gonna go 8 out of 10. Majority of the time this thing is really locked in. You're really not feeling loose and out of control. So if you like that feeling, this is gonna be a good option. Moving over into the next category, we're gonna look at speed. And when we do speed, we also go 1 through 10 on the scale. 1 being really, really slow, 10 being really, really fast. Now for this board, it's a 3-stage rocker, typically 3-stage, a bit slower. Like I said, we have some channels. You know, we're displacing that water and pushing it through the board, making it speed up just a little bit. And I would say, honestly, the board speed is, I'm gonna give it a 5 because it lands right in the middle of, it's not slow to where you're having to really dig and edge hard into the wake to get across the wake, but it's not so fast to where it's unpredictable and you don't really know if you have enough speed or if you're gonna send it out into the flats or what. So as far as speed, it's predictable, and that's why we're giving it a 5. Another category is pop. We go 1 through 10, 1 meaning no pop at all, 10 meaning to the moon. Now this board, like I said, the speed was consistent, and that also rolls into the pop. The pop was consistent, which is sometimes not the case for a 3-stage board, but I did find this board to pop exactly how I knew it was going to every time, and it had really good pop. So for me, an 8 out of 10 really puts this board at a sweet spot for pop. Once you come up, you know, you gotta come down, and that's where we jump over to the landing side of things. 1 through 10 as well. 1 meaning it's super harsh landings, and 10 means it's nice and soft. Now, like I said, this board does have a spine, which really helps displace water and ease up on those landings. And that was the case with this bad boy right here. Steel, I mean, if you've seen him ride, he does like to go really big to the flats, so I'm sure he wanted to shape a board that's gonna be able to handle those landings, and I found that very apparent with this board. So for the landings, we're also gonna go on a softer side here, and we're gonna go 8 out of 10. Lastly, we wanna look at swing weight. Swing weight is a thing to where, how easy does that board come around? Is it effortless to bring the board around, or do you feel like you really feel the board underneath your feet when you're trying to spin? And we go 1 through 10 as well. We go 1 is very heavy on the swing weight and 10 is very light on the swing weight. And for this board right here, I would say I found it to be, it's pretty much effortless. I did feel it underneath my feet, but also this board only comes in a 139 or a 141. So I had a smaller board, so not a lot of tip and tail to bring around. So that also helped with the swing weight as well. So for the most part, I didn't really feel much swing weight. So we're gonna give it a good score here. We're gonna give it at an 8 as well for swing weight. But also remember, if you're wanting a bigger board, they don't really have that option for this. Like I said, this is just a new updated version for 2022 for Steel's Pro Model board. A nice couple of touches, flex, ABS sidewalls, obviously a nice new suite, pretty clean graphic here for Steel. You really can't go wrong. This board is easily for an intermediate rider to anyone that wants to be advanced pro. It'll be able to handle all those things for you. A beginner could get on it, but you know, it's not typically made for a beginner. So if you guys want to know more information, get a couple more details, head over to connellyski.com, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and so you don't miss out on the next one. I'm Cole, check you later.